Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 13, and let's go ahead and jump in and talk about criminalization, immigration, and prisons, and let's get to our next discussion forum. And so, the idea of criminalization refers to the concept that crimes are often decided upon by society. We often create things that are illegal, and we create things that are illegal. And so, one of the main things that we've studied leading up to this has been the criminalization of immigration. We know that throughout our course, immigration has always not been thought of illegal, and we see that this is really a very, very new phenomenon. And so, what I want to kind of talk about in this discussion forum is how crime and how immigration have kind of intersected with each other. And so, I want you to start right here. Let's go to the week and let's go ahead and scroll down and click on Arizona's Law on Immigration of 2010. And so if you click on this New York Times article and read it, I'm going to focus on kind of like the nuts and bolts of the law. And you can kind of see here that, sorry, let me scroll down a little bit more. The law, which proponents and critics alike said was the broadest and strictest immigration measure in generations, would make the failure to carry immigration documents a crime and give the police broad power to detain anyone suspected of being in the country illegally. And so, in other words, the Arizona law of 2010 makes it mandatory for anyone who is suspected or reasonably suspected, whatever that means, of being in the country illegally to carry documents that prove their legal documentation. This is something that we saw happen in California in 1994, but was found to be unconstitutional. And so, what I want you to do is, I want you to kind of take a look at something very interesting to me. I want you to kind of take a look at what I have up here, which is the Fourth Amendment. Let me just go ahead and highlight that really quickly here. And I'm going to go ahead and read that. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. So notice that in the Fourth Amendment, papers are actually a protected, right, item. Against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things being searched. So, in other words, our Fourth Amendment should protect against laws like illegal shakedowns, unreasonable suspicion, and if a person wanted to ask for documentation, they should require a warrant that names a person, that names a place, and that names the specific document. And so, what I want you to kind of think about is, I want you to kind of think about how this concept of search and seizure, if we read Michelle Alexander's chapter on the lockdown, how drugs have really kind of loosened the way that we thought about laws of search and seizure. And so the war on drugs and Michelle Alexander really kind of talks a little bit about how the Supreme Court really began to loosen its relationship to, right, a strict interpretation of the Fourth Amendment. So jump into this reconstruction of crime and immigration and think about how the ways that we search for drugs, the way that we are often penalizing people for drugs during the war on drugs, a lot of this is mentioned in the lockdown. Grab something from the lockdown, post it into the discussion forum, and really kind of think critically about how the way that we think about drugs is not so different about the way we think about people. And the way we think about people who might be reasonably suspicious, quote unquote, of having drugs is the same kind of lens that we use on people who we believe fit a specific profile. And so hopefully that helps. Jump into this discussion forum. I'll be in there with you reading along. Of course, as always, I'll let you talk and comment without too much of my interruption or too much of my interference. But always remember that you can always post as much as you want, and I'll take the highest score. All right?